Here's how to get one.
Whoa, would you look at that? We're perfectly on time. And with we, I mean, I am perfectly on time for once. Let's turn on some lights, because we are without lights, and the stream is still on. There we go. Stream is now off. There we go. Alright, we're perfectly on time. But we need lights, don't we? Oh, that's control panel. I need a control center. Control center. There we go. Yeah, I've had this problem. Maybe someone else that has the Elgato key lights has had this problem as well, where the lights just don't work. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I say that. They seem to... Oh, actually, they seem to work now. Actually, yeah. Can I refresh this? Will it work? It says no accessories found. Ah, well, it'll be fine. Hey, Jago, and hey, Larissa. I forgot your name for a second, for some reason. I don't know why. It's fucking crazy. Also, I want to show people a recent addiction of mine. It's a new game on Steam. Well, it's not new on Steam. I think it's been there for a few months now. But it's called Heartspace Shipbreaker, and I am absolutely in love with it. It is such a methodical simulation game that it works so well. It works so well for me. I love it. It's great stuff. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we are going to look into a few things. First off, we are going to look at obviously the Epic Store to see if there's anything cool new in there that we might want to save. The next thing we'll look into, that's probably going to be the biggest chunk of this stream. We are going to look at some feedback that I got on the latest prototype we've done. Nice, Jago, nice. It is such a great game, isn't it? I'm really in love with it. At first I didn't really like almost like the granularity of some of the stuff, like you have to recycle the lights and everything separately. But then I got into the mindset, and oh my god, I am very slowly, meticulously tearing this spaceship apart. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, today we are looking at some feedback we got on a recent prototype that we made together, which is actually really big feedback, and I actually want to talk about that in a bit more detail. I had a game dev topic prepared for today, but I didn't fully finish it, and I wanted to make some adjustments, so I'm not going to have the full talk today, but I can already take you guys through some of the thought processes that are going to go through my head with this feedback, and how we want to approach that, and then we're going to actually develop the solution. So without any further ado, I'm just going to press this button, and you'll see the wrong screen. Hold on. Let me actually go back. Actually, no, I can't. Screen capture. Here we go. You're on the wrong screen. You're still on the wrong screen. What about window capture? No, window capture isn't doing anything. Window capture can leave. There you go. And screen capture. Yeah, you are on the... There we go. There we go. Alright, awesome. Fixed it. Anyway, so, Epic Game Store. Yes. Viscera cleanup detail. I played the game a very long time ago. I have all three of them in my Steam library. It was a big reminder, and I'm kind of sad that they didn't make any subsequent games to Viscera, because I really loved that. I thought Viscera was really cool. So yeah, Heartspace Shipbreaker definitely reminds me of Viscera as well. So yeah, definitely very cool. Alright, so Unreal Engine, we'll quickly go through the marketplace, see if there's anything new cool in there that we might want to save, because you never know. Let's see, Showcase. Yeah, the Riverology plugin, we've already got it saved, but it looks very awesome. I'd love to use it in the next project, if it's something realistic. Let's see, Icon Set, Door Set, Morph Effect, Junkyard Environment Kit, that looks pretty cool. It really depends, right? Some of these decals looks pretty good. Yeah, it really depends what you're looking for. Some of this stuff is not amazing. Some of it is really incredible, but it really depends. There's a whole inventory with multiplayer support. The multiplayer support part is nice, but the inventory itself, you could make that yourself with putting, I don't know, 5-6 hours into it, probably. There's not really that much here, is there? Nothing where I'm like, that looks incredible. I mean, this looks incredible. That looks pretty cool. Not sure how useful it would be necessarily, or how optimized it would be for a full game, but Rifle combat mocap pack. That's, I mean, okay. So here's the thing, right? This kind of pack for 45 euros. That is pretty cheap. Such a pack, especially if you're not an artist yourself, such a pack can turn your farming game prototype into something that you can basically give to almost anyone in order to get feedback on the gameplay, right? Because it's so much harder for non-game developers to give feedback on something that looks like white boxes and like red squares and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to something that looks a little bit dressed up. So packs like these can be incredible for achieving a little bit of dress up. So yeah, but definitely cool. I'm not gonna favorite it because I already have something similar. Stylized monsters pack, modular sci-fi futuristic city. There's a lot of these though, so I definitely wouldn't recommend paying too much for one of them. Evil Puppet, it's cool. If you want to base your entire game around it, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you know, could be cool. Cleaning sound effects. Fall Tower. I wonder what this is based on. I do wonder. Yeah, there's really not that much right now in this list where I'm like, okay, this would be a hard recommend. Modular medieval town, maybe. But no, the rest of it is... No. There's nothing in there I'm like, wow, that is really great value for really great assets. Look at one more page. Maybe the 5th page has something good. Reminds you of something. What does it remind you of? No, there's nothing. No, nothing too cool in here. Alright, so let's launch up the project. And then I'll show you also the feedback that I've been dealing with. I say dealing with it like it's a negative thing. It's always a good thing. The next game dev topic is also going to be about feedback, but I haven't got it fully prepared, so I don't want to dive too much into it yet. Let's see. Here it is. I think there was already a party game like that. Yeah. So I also claimed Fall Guys on the Epic Store a few days ago because it's free to play now. Which, by the way, caused a massive negative review dump on Steam that they went free to play. Because it used to cost like 20 euros or 25 euros or something, so people feel a little screwed over. I understand that. But no, they've gone free to play now on the Epic Store. And yeah, I picked it up. And I like it. I think it's nice, but really only nice if you've got friends to play it with, I think. Alone, I can play it for about half an hour, maybe an hour at most, and then I'm definitely done with it. But I do like it, and I've got some inspirations for our own game here. So, we've got our beautiful game, right? And last time around, we made a bunch of changes, especially to the systems surrounding how much faster you are in each attempt. I also found out that system apparently is not perfect because it breaks really quickly. Because if I now do this again, it should work. So it works here, but if I do this in the package project, which I'll also show you, then it definitely does not work. Let's have a look. And I'm getting to a point, I promise. I'm getting to a point on this one. Where is it? Unreal Projects. Memory platformer, Windows builds, 1.6. So if I open this up, I better left the button in because it looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll change all this out soon. So if I do it in this, in the package project, you're gonna get a different result, or at least my playtesters did. So I'm a little confused about that, but let's find out. So they set their time. They decide they want to do it faster because they can, and it works perfectly. What the hell? Sometimes it's so confusing that that your playtester sees something vastly different than you do. That shit's crazy. Because I'm just checking if it now works. Because if it does, great. But okay, it seems to work. Anyway, guess this is not important. But yeah, we have our beautiful game. We added a few things, and I decided to put it up for feedback. I'm still waiting for some more feedback, but there is some important feedback that we need to go through. Let me show it to you. Alright, so I had two playtesters who are great friends of mine, but who are ruthlessly honest, which is great. And they provided me with a bunch of feedback. I haven't really got any proposed solutions yet. Hey, Vestison, thanks so much for the compliment. Really appreciate it. Are you working on anything at the moment? So the feedback that we got is quite a bit. Now, the first thing, we just checked that and it appears to work. It seems to work. So I'm not sure if there is any solution for this, but for right now, it seems to work. Then the flow in the second section in level 2 is not very nice. Alright, fair enough. We need to redesign that. No worries. Now, this one is an important one. Every level should feel doable without stopping my forward momentum. So essentially, what this person's saying is, I just want to keep running and never have to stop in order to make it across, right? Which would feel nicest, because then you get into this flow, which a lot of platform games get, well, not a lot, but a few platform games do this really well, and they are received really well because of it. So we want to implement something like this, right? We need to make a choice on our level design. Are we gonna go with levels that flow incredibly well, meaning the player never has to stop, right? They can always keep going forward as long as they jump at the right moment. Or do we want something different where the player does stop, right? The problem with that is that if we choose for the second option and the player is forced to stop, then that automatically influences the time in which they can complete a level, right? And because the goal is to do it as fast as possible, it feels a little cheeky to implement such a solution. So that is a problem I can see with that. Now, the next feedback. Working on a simple mobile game and hit a brick wall determining the real money prices for items in the shop. Yeah, I can imagine that is pretty tough. I do know, and I deleted most of the mobile games I have on my phone this morning, but I know if we look at something, what kind of mobile game is it? Because then I can potentially help you out a little bit. Please do update that so I can actually see the prices in game. All right. An idle clicker, right? Actually, I think I have an idle clicker on my phone, because then let's compare to that. Actually, do I still have an idle clicker on my phone? No, I only have Heyday, and that's it. But I did have, and that is a perfect reference probably, idle, what was it called again? Was it Theme Park? Yes, it was. And it was this one. So if you need a reference for pricing, a developer by the name of Cody Games, they have, I think, 30 or so idle games, all following the same template. And their pricing is pretty good. They got me a few times with buying items that I definitely didn't need. Also, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for that. Alright, just wait for this to install, and then I'll share this with you. Hopefully remember my progress, because I've played this game a fair few times before. Yes, it does. Cool. Right, so if well, okay, so this is the very first thing, and I'm gonna try and show it like this. It might be inverted for you guys, but it's basically, as soon as I open the app after being gone for a long time, it's offering me 200 premium currency, 3 boosters, and 2 time warps for €6, which is 70% of the original price, right? And it expires in 3 hours from now. So that's step number 1, right? When people come back after an X amount of time, don't do this every single time, but maybe like after they come back after 7 days of inactivity, give them something special to, you know, to buy. If we look at the prices in their shop, and of course, this kind of depends on what you can buy in your game, but you know, it's not a one-on-one translation, but hopefully it helps a little bit. Wow. Okay, so their option for having no more ads in the game is 10 euros, or well, whatever that is in dollars or British pounds, which is definitely on the high end. Most games that I've seen would have their no more ads thing at 350, maybe 4, like 399, something around that number. Because 10 euros is a big leap in my opinion. I would never pay 10 euros to get rid of ads, so to say. Yeah, I definitely agree there. So for that, I would go with something, something that is definitely below the 4 euros because you want to keep it in range, but also something that is specific, right? Prices like 3.99 or anything ending on 99 is not specific, right? Specific prices feel more accurate. I read this in a in the Art of Negotiation by what's his face? Oh yeah, no, it was Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, which is definitely, I'd recommend reading it. It's pretty good. In that book, he explains that when you're doing business deals, and this is kind of the same thing, just on a smaller scale, people tend to make prices attractive by making it round up to something, right? Whether it's if something costs, I don't know, 10,597 euros, they make it go up to like 10,999 euros. Because it feels, psychologically, like a really nice number, a number that's easy to comprehend. However, Chris Voss argues that instead of doing that, you actually want a super specific number. You want something, so instead of, I'll just type it in here, instead of something like 10,999 euros, you actually want to say, well, it's actually 10,263.72 cents, right? The second number, the advantage of that is that it feels very calculated. It feels like a lot of time was put into it to come to that price, right? And so you might want to do something similar for your purchases in your game, where you go like, maybe it's like 3 euros and 29 cents or 27 cents, something of the kind, so that it feels really, really calculated. It's one of the options you could go for. Then most of the other purchases in here, as far as I can tell, it basically goes in an upward range. I'm trying to understand their pricing structure here. Oh wow, that's a big jump. Okay. That's all time warps and stuff. What if I want to buy premium currency? What does it tell me then? Actually, it doesn't tell me, does it? Hold on. No, oh, actually, no, it does. It does. Okay. Well, yeah, so it depends, right? I think there's a good. You might want to try this. You might want to try both and see which one converts more, right? You could do that. So for 1 week you could run the 372, and for the other week you do 399, just to see, you know, which one converts better. You could totally do that. But for the premium currency in this game, you pay. The steps go like this. I need to find a better way to illustrate this. Can I find a better way to illustrate this? Yeah, let's do an online. Let's do an Excel, shall we? Hold on. I know I'm going completely off topic here, but it's totally fine. Let's see. I shouldn't really place it in this list. I should place it in here. Google Sheets, right? Okay, so no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. We're here to help people, right? So tier 1, and then let's pull that, because how many tiers do we have? 6. All right, let's pull that through. That's one too many. So tier 1 is 199. Tier 2 is 499. Tier 3 is 999. tier 4 is $24.99. Tier 5, $49.99, and tier 6, the last tier, is $99.99. If I move this a little bit down, like that, because this is price in euros, right, and then the amount of coins you get for it, premium currency, the amount of coins you get for it is 150, 450, 1,000, 2,750, 6,000, and 14,000, right? Now, if we insert a nice little graph, whoops, it's been a while since I've done charts in Google Sheets. I normally do this in Excel, but the difference should be not that. So on the X, we want the tiers, right? Oh, actually, hold on. Let's, yeah. On the X, we actually want the data of the tiers. Oh no, come on, Excel. Stop it. These ones, please. And we want to add a label. Actually, no, I am doing that wrong. I knew it. Oops, don't do that, game. Okay, there we go. We don't want a column chart, we want a line chart. And then specifically, we want the data ranges to be, yeah, that's fine. And then add another one for this one. Okay. Has it only, yep. And then add another series for this. Oh my god, I hate how this works. Setup. Add series. Collect the line. There we go. We've got 2 series now. Oh wow. Oh wow, that's quite incredible actually. Actually, hold on. Yeah, this will be what's going on. I just need to convert it by a measure of 100. And 140. Okay. Now, in terms of why is this not ending up the way that it's supposed to? I'm very confused. Nope, definitely didn't want to do that. And then on the X, you want to add the tiers, right? So you want to add these. Okay, so all of that works. So why doesn't this work? Why does this only go to 100? That is strange. So it does that perfectly fine. Oh, is this using the same? Oh, it's using the same range. That's why. Jesus. For this one, we want to have this range. There we go. Okay. All right. But then instead of these labels, you want to have these labels. So not this range, but you want to have this range. There we go. I'm capable. All right. So what we want to do here is actually have a look-see, because what we can see, the red line indicates the premium currency we're getting, and the blue line indicates the price we're paying for it. So we can see that here at the start, roughly what we're paying versus what we're getting is more or less equivalent value, right? As we pay more, right, we're actually getting more than what we're paying for. And all of this is still absolutely abstract because it's a premium currency, and how much is a premium currency really worth? But so what you can see here, if you apply a similar pricing strategy to your own idle clicker, where the lines kind of go up like this, I think that is probably your safest bet at creating pricing ranges that would actually convert into sales rather than you know, being too high up. Yeah, it seems to be a smarter deal, yeah. But ultimately, you know, nothing is really a smart deal because all of it isn't really worth anything, right? We could actually calculate that. I'm just thinking now. We could, if we turn these back into their original, numbers. We can actually see how valuable each thing is by saying this equals this number divided by this. Actually, no, that is not how you were to do that. Let me double check. What is the value per coin? It's the other way around. So it equals this number divided by this. So per coin, you're spending 0.013 cents, right? If we pull that out, we can actually see yeah, so they're actually not lying. Great. That is good to see. The last deal is in fact the best deal, right? So the more money you spend, the better your deal is. And that's what you have to create for your own games as well, right? If you're going to include in-app purchases, then make sure this is true. Make sure you do this little bit of basic math to make sure that that your prices make sense. As for which prices to pick, if you want to make it a little bit more accessible, you could go a little lower, because I find 100 euros is a lot of money. But then again, there are a lot of whales in mobile gaming that spend this much easily, multiple times a month, so multiple times a week even, so, you know, it's possible. Yeah, honestly, seeing as the mobile market is such a worked out place, I would follow this exact pricing structure in your own game. Even though this seems like way too much money, there are going to be people that are going to spend this kind of money. There are just people that have so much disposable income. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. The 100 euro seems like a lot of money compared to the 50. And the gain is actually about a little under 2.5, 2.3-ish. So it is worth it. In terms of numbers, it's worth it. Whether people think the same, I don't know. I can't look into the finances of this developer, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, definitely follow something like this. Feel free to screenshot this if you want to use this. Yeah, it's something I could definitely research more into in the future. Yeah, you could totally do something like I don't know, say 25,000, right? Which means you're paying significantly less per piece of currency. However, what you're going to get, and what you should ask yourself, what can people buy in the game with 25,000 premium currency? Can they finish the entire game with it? Because if so, wouldn't it make more sense to do 12,500? That is not 12.5, 12,500, so that they can buy it twice to finish the game, right? That's kind of, at that point you're getting into game economies, and I don't have enough experience with it. I know roughly the basics, but I definitely don't have enough experience in game economies to give a super good talk about it. But that is essentially what you want to do. Yeah, there's a whole talk I could have about how Call of Duty Zombies approached game economies, but I'll save that for a different time. Also because I haven't prepared it, so. Alright, glad you screenshotted that, great. So, make sure I haven't actually, no I have not. Okay, so back to the feedback, right? So, this person said, scouting out the level and finding the fastest way is the most fun experience, right? Yeah, exactly, you never finished them, exactly. And then the next thing they said was, the most fun thing is to figure out what the fastest possible route is in my own time and then try and execute different paths, right? This person is saying that they, the thing that they find the most fun is actually not the core of our game. right? And so they're able to find this core, regardless of the fact that we didn't intend them to find it. But they found something completely different in terms of gameplay than what we thought was fun. Now, there's a few ways to respond to that. You could say, well, they're playing the game wrong, and I'm going to continue developing this, what I have, because I think this is fun, and some other people think this is fun. You could do that. That is a totally valid approach. I wouldn't blame anyone if they took that route. However, you could also think to yourself, okay, what kind of gameplay loops are there in my game that I could further focus in on to really make it the most fun experience it could be? Now, something based on this feedback that I started thinking is, what is the actual goal of the game, right? Currently it is to be as fast as possible. But if that is true, then why am I allowing people to die? Right? Why am I doing that? Because that indirectly or directly does not affect the goal on its own. Right? If I die, I restart, the timer restarts. That's it. Right? My time is not affected by how often I die. So I could say, okay, if I want this game to be fully about making it in the fastest possible way towards the finish line, then maybe I should make a game that does exactly that only does things to slow the player down, not actually to kill them and reset them. Right? What you could do, and I'm gonna grab the most advanced program I have, Paint. What you could do, let's assume that you guys actually know what I'm doing. Right, so let's say this is your starting point, right? And let's say that out here is your ending point. What I could actually do is say, okay, what is the fastest way to get here? Right? If we put down a few lines, let's see, something like that. I should not make this symmetrical, but I am, because I don't actually have the mental capacity to not make it symmetrical at the moment. Like that, and something like that, and that. There we go, and then like there's a way there, and there's a way there, like that. You guys get the idea, right? There's a few different ways to go, and my players need to figure out what that fastest way is, right? That is kind of the idea here. Here we go. Look at that nice maze that we're creating. Anyway, you guys get the idea, right? Is the fastest way to go like this, right? Or is the fastest way to go like this? Or even alternatively, is the fastest way to go like that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that. Right? What is the fastest way to get the objective? Right? To get to the objective. If this is what the game is about, this is what the game should focus on. During all of these routes, the player can't die. Instead, we'll have, I don't know, I'll do some quick line arts. We'll have a little machine. This is from a top-down view that has an arm, which has like a boxing glove on it, which I definitely cannot make in line art, may I add. Yeah, like that, a boxing glove. Wow, look at that. Can I just click here? There we go. It has a boxing glove on it, which nope, wrong tool. I need to pen. Not the pen. I actually need the this one, which rotates around constantly at a fast pace, right? And if the player collides with this boxing fist, they get pushed back and thus they get slowed down, but they don't get reset, because resetting it would mean it has no effect. Instead, they're slowed down, right? And if these things appear, if I use this light purplish color, actually let's use a yellow color. If this thing is located, I don't know, right here, and right here, and here perhaps, and maybe here, and here, then it becomes a matter of, okay, A, which route has the least amount of obstacles? B, can I time and create enough momentum for myself to perfectly slip past every single obstacle? Right? Which would then allow me to get the fastest time. So this is one scenario, right? If the goal is to get the fastest possible time. Let's put that a little bigger. Let's pull it out. There we go. All right, so that is option number one. Now, I hate Paint. It's such a shit program. That is goal number one. If I want to create a new one, yeah, I'll actually save my work. I'm relatively proud of it. Let's see. Where am I going to save this? I'll put it in assets for now. 3D platformer, game flow. Goal one, fastest time. Now, if the goal is to survive, right? Yeah. So what you're saying, Vestison, is that by replaying the level and finding different routes, the player would, after a little while, understand, okay, the green route's the fastest, but it's also harder because there's more obstacles there. Or the purple route's actually faster because there's less obstacles, and that way I can keep my momentum more and just be, I don't know, 1/10 of a second faster. Right? If that's the dynamic we want to go for, then such a core gameplay loop would totally work. Right? Or would work a lot better than what we have right now. Now, if the goal is to survive, we're talking something different, right? We're talking a little flag up here. We're talking a little spawn point down here. And how am I going to do this? Probably with little green blocks. Then we could totally do stuff like, okay, we've got our... Oh my god, this is going to take me a little while. What I'm actually going to do instead... there we go. What I'm actually going to do is just go into the game, start up light shot, just quickly find a top-down view, like that, activate light shot. There we go. Here we go. That saves me a lot of time. What we could then do is, okay, if the goal is to survive and not be thrown off the platforms, which means there will be no timer, right? It's just survival. Then we could do, okay, the red marked platforms, they disappear when the player gets close, right? Like that, and like that, and like that, and like that, for example. The purple marked platforms, they move to the side all of a sudden, right? They move different directions. Oh, Jesus, they might even move up or down, right? We could do stuff like that. On the blue marked platforms, a pillar comes crashing down, right, just as the player is stepping on them. I'm totally not balancing this level, but it's fine. Etc., 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 right? There is challenges that the player has to go through in order to survive. And every time they die and they reset, they need to think to themselves, okay, I know what happens when, and I'm going to get through, right? That's then the new gameplay loop to survive. That is what I am getting out of the feedback that I got here, right? The question then becomes, which gameplay loop is better? And that is a really hard question to answer. Well, it's a really hard question to answer without testing it, right? And for testing it, you need to develop both gameplay loops. It's as simple as that. And this is the part that I see going wrong with a lot of indie devs quite a bit. Or at least with specific games, especially platformers, are very notorious for not doing this at all. They just stick with what they have. Yeah, so many death streams are coming. I know. I have some ways, I think, to reuse a lot of the stuff we already have. And we're gonna keep it nice and dirty. So we're not gonna do too much that is gonna affect stuff big time. So if we dive into Asana, which is my task tracking software, well, not my task tracking software, it's one that I use. I totally want to finish the redesign of the main menu, but let's put it on a lower priority, because right now, if the core gameplay loop is not yet defined, the main menus might not be the highest priority thing that we need to work on, right? So let's put this back into design. Actually, put it back into prioritize because it's in there. Whoops, oopsie daisy. There we go. And this is also this is low priority. Extra environment art. Let's not do that anytime soon. Let's put it way back in there. All right. I have already done this actually. I need to just mark it as complete. Put it in here. There we go. And then all of that can stay. That's fine. So our two new tasks are this is for version 1.7. Is develop survival core loop level, right? And we'll just do one level per core loop, just to keep it nice and short in terms of the iteration time, because within one level we should be able to tell from our playtests what people liked and what they didn't like, so should be okay. And then there's the develop the is it time trial? Not really. Time challenge core loop level. Here we go. All right, so let me actually make this consistent, because consistency is key. So all of this is for me because it's just me working on it. And now in terms of priority, they're both high. There we go, because they both need to be worked on. So this is what we got to do, right? And I'd love to hear what you guys think. What would you guys think would be more fun? I'd love to hear that as well. Goal 2, survival. There we go. Because a lot of the underlying systems are already done, so we might be able to do this pretty quickly. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys what you think about it. Anyway, so first things first. We need to go into the UI. We need to check it out in source control, which it already is. Awesome. I should first check this in, actually, because I don't actually know the last change we made, which is pretty bad. Change, lots of changes. Now, don't do what I'm doing. This is super bad practice. If you're working with source control, make sure that after every tiny little complete change you do, make sure to submit it, because else you get stuff like this, where you have no idea what you changed anymore. And so you can't describe it, and so if something goes wrong, good luck figuring out what it was, right? Lots of changes. Faster time UI was added. Buttons were changed. I have no idea. We've done a few things. Alright, so check it out. Now let's go in here. Let's go into our graph. We can go not into any of these functions. Instead, we can go into main menu, play button. Where is this located? Here it is. So right now this just opens the first level, which we don't want it to do that actually. Instead, we want to open up our player controller, which is in here. Again, all of these I should totally just submit and then check out again. Change, lots of changes. Bad me. There we go. Okay. So to check out our main controller. Also, the reason why I won't be able to figure out what I changed is because blueprints can't be diffed against each other. So unless I convert everything to C++, that'd be the only way for me to know what changed from the previous version into this version. So, and I don't know any C++, so we're definitely not doing that. Okay, apparently I have a cheat in here, which is that if I press 9, it opens up the first level. Let's remove that, because it's definitely unnecessary. We don't need that anymore. What is this stuff? That's the animation played. Cool. Play level finished animation. There we go. Okay, anyway. Let's go out of the game flow. We have set up the UI. That's all okay, because at the end of setup UI, what happens? It says load main menu, which shows the mouse cursor. It sets the visibility of the main menu. It sets the visibility of the game UI to hidden. And it plays the animation of introducing the main menu. Okay, all of that is fine. What we now want to do is we want to create a custom event called play button clicked, right? And then what we want to do is go into here. We want to remove this, and instead we want to say from our game instance, get our PC player controller. There we go, the main controller one. And then from here we can call on play button clicked, right? Here we go, just like that. So now when we click the button in the UI, it'll actually execute this line of code, right? Activates the mode selection screen in PC main controller. There we go. Comment the code as I go along, because I need to learn how to do that better, or more often. Because else you get uncommented code and you don't know what's going on. Alright, so when this happens, what might actually be making this too complicated? I could actually do this a lot simpler, now that I think of it. Yeah, I could actually do this a lot simpler. Yeah, let's do this actually much simpler. Because what we can actually do is just say, okay, once the play button gets clicked, we want to grab the main menu. We want to set the visibility. Whoops. Set visibility to hidden. There we go. And then we want to go into our designer. We want to create another screen. What kind of canvas is this? A canvas panel. Canvas panel. There we go. Let's move this up to the top, just below here. Oh, no. Nope. Like that. There we go. So it's not nested under the main menu. We want to call this mode selection screen. Or just mode selection if it's fine, actually. And then we want to turn off the main menu. And what we'll add to this screen, we'll add background blur. Like that, which we'll have at a strength of 1, I believe. I believe that's all it needs. The anchor is all the way across. Size to, nope. And I actually believe... Yeah. Here we go. Look at that blur. Look at the background getting nice and blurry. Alright. And this should be 1920 actually by 1080. I just realized. There we go. Let's put the blur a little higher. 3.5. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, then we can add 2 buttons. Button. Right, we can make those go in there. And then we'll make sure that they anchor in the middle of the screen. Because that's really where you want to have them. Oh no. It's a little hard because I'm too far zoomed out. Okay. Is my... oh yeah, I need to just increase the size of my... size to content. But now I need to move this back again. Right, there we go. That sort of works. Alright, now we need to move these buttons back again to where they were. There we go. We can increase them in size by a little bit. And this one as well. Right? Because also the reason why I'm doing this, why I'm doing the UI first, is to make sure that our testing efforts are actually much easier to do. That's kind of the idea behind it, right? And then in terms of text, where is it? Text. We put 2 texts in there. This text will say survival mode, and this one will say time trial mode. There we go. And then we'll name the buttons appropriately as well. Survival mode, time trial mode. Okay, let me just check that my phone has actually gone off. Not that that's just burning battery in the background. Yeah, cool. All right, so what we can do now, make sure this is a variable. What we can do now is go back into our graph and say, okay, our mode selection screen, set visibility, is visible now. When did I start streaming on Twitch? Let me check. I started doing proper game development content, because before that it was just regular gaming stuff. Proper game development content roughly 4 months ago now. I can't believe it's been that long already. Yeah, roughly 4 months ago, because that's when Suchi raided my stream, which was when I first started proper game development stuff. So here we go. Now I just got to make sure that this mode selection screen is not visible from the start. Hidden. Here we go. Because you don't want it to be visible from the start, right? That's definitely what you don't want. Here we go. Okay, so now what should happen, and I say this with a little bit of doubt, because I'm sure I've done this way too fast. Main menu. If I press play, it shows the main menu. Cool. I click play. Nice, that works. Cool. Awesome. Okay, can't believe that worked. Awesome. Okay, so now both of those work. Now the idea is that for these buttons, which they are already variables, very good. What we want to do in here probably is we want to say that survival mode on released, not on clicked, because clicked means it does it instantly. If I want to click on a button and then actually I change my mind and I still have the mouse button pressed, I should be able to unfocus off of or move off of the button and then release the button so that it doesn't you know, select the thing that I was gonna select but change my mind on. UI spot on, time to release. Yeah, agreed. We've got some cool designs that we did in the last stream. We just gotta implement them. All right, so for survival mode, we want to say on released, and for time trial mode, we want to say on released. Now these are both gonna open up separate levels in a moment, right? So we're gonna say open level by name, like that. Now that we have that set up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new folder called survival level, just to keep this completely distinct. This is just dirty stuff at the moment. Time trial level, right? We want to in here. Now the question becomes, how much do I actually want to copy and paste over? Because I've got template levels here. Let's copy over the persistent level template. Duplicate. Time trial template. And then let's move it into time trial level. Move here. And for this one, we can copy this one into here. And I'll just rename this to survival mode level. Cool. Now for these names, I can already copy these into the UI, right? so that we know that that's done. So we don't have to think about that later on anymore. Same goes for the time trial level. I'm actually feeling cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to get these modes done today, which is maybe like a huge overstatement, but we'll find out. Okay, so for the time trial level, yeah, okay, oh boy. Okay, so there's actually quite a bit in here already. So we got to go into window, levels, and then we got to take these out. I hope this does not have any effect on the other existing levels, but we'll find out. It does not. Cool. So what we can do, if I just check what's actually in here. There's a kill zone, there's a blocking volume, there's a bunch of grass cubes, there's the level streaming volumes, and a player start, and that's it. Okay. Because what we actually might want to do here is do this. Just grab 3 at a time, because these are all just meshes. Yeah, they are. Like that. In a moment, we'll prototype some stuff. Oh god, I might actually have to do a little bit of level design here. Because we want to make 3 routes, right? Sorry, let me read chat. It's my first time on your channel, so I haven't gotten much insight, but can you give me a short recap about the game? How long have you been working on it, both idea, design, development, lots of things. Yeah, sure. So, to give you a little bit of insight, let me go into the first level. How long have I been working on this? Since January 3rd, roughly. There was a huge pause between kind of like the end of March and the start of June-ish. So, yeah, so roughly 4 months-ish I've been working on this now. And at the start, I was running at about 20 hours a week on this project, whilst just like besides my full-time job, which I wouldn't recommend to anyone, by the way. Don't burn yourself out. And I was putting out an iteration roughly every 2 or 3 days, to really see what I could make in a short time span, because I had this vague idea and it was really not a good concept, but I don't know, something told me that it seemed like a lot of fun. Well, and since then we've made a lot of iterations, and someday I'll show like the full run from prototype 1 to like the final product to see, you know, how stuff changes. So yeah, so roughly 4 months from the moment I had the idea to where we are now. Yeah, more recently I've been approaching this a lot more from a streamable development kind of perspective, where I take you guys through my workflow and, you know, kind of hopefully bring across some nuggets of information that I've learned from my time as a AAA developer, which I still do nowadays. Yeah, and that's kind of it, really. And so the game itself, if I play through it a little bit at the moment, but as you know, we're going to change that. At the moment, it is a time trial-y platformer where you have to get across from point A to point B in the fastest possible way. And for every section, you get timed. Yeah, you need to make it across as fast as possible by memorizing the levels and making sure you do it as fast as possible. And so this is obviously level 1, so it's a little easy. But if I complete my own level, there we go. If we just close this one and we go to, let's say, I know, level 6, which is a lot harder, hopefully it illustrates a little better what the game is about. Look, there's now falling platforms. You kind of like have to remember where they are to make sure you don't run into that the next time, so to say. Oh no, see, like that. And so every time you go, you think to yourself, okay, I know roughly where these platforms are going to be now. I need to totally remember where they are. But yeah, the goal is that you first do it slowly, and then you keep coming back to do it faster and faster and faster because you're remembering where stuff is. At least that's the idea, right? There we go. I know I can do this faster than 783, so let's do it faster than 783. Almost. And so that's kind of like the idea of the game. It's supposed to be a short game. I don't think I'll be asking any money for this game. Mainly because I'm doing it for fun, trying to, you know, hopefully do a little bit of teaching. So yeah, I've already done it a bit faster now than last time, so I can do that again. Just like that. Nope. Almost like that. Anyway, that's kind of the idea of the game. And so currently we're working through a whole bunch of prototypes to see if we can find a prototype where a large part of the playtesting group says, okay, this is a lot of fun, and then go from there. That'd be kind of the idea, right? That'd be the thing we're going for here. And if not, right, if we can't find that, then we close down this project and go into the Epic Games Launcher and click New Project and start on something else. Simple as that. I'm not hoping to spend another 2 months on all of this together to try and find that out. Because ultimately, if something is just not fun, then it's best to just move on to something else, right? At some point, that moment comes. Thanks for the compliment, really appreciate that. All of the art that you're seeing is all definitely store-bought assets or free downloaded assets. Because I'm by no means an artist. I am learning how to 3D model, but I'm by no means an artist. So free assets really help. They help a lot in terms of strengthening your prototypes. Or at least making them more playable anyway. So yeah, there's that. So now for this one, seeing as it's a time trial, we need to go into our blueprints and our level functionality, and we need to have a timer start BP in here, like so. Then we move back a bit, like that. And we also need to have a level start, level spawn. So that players go through it, and it artificially sets their spawn points. Alright, so we've got those things. So, player enters. It needs to be like a maze, right? So, we've got some art assets that we can use for this. Which one is it? Platforms? Yes, it is. Alright, this is going to require a little bit of manual work at the start. Let's put the angle of rotation at 90. There we go. Let's, how close do we want this to be? That's too close. We'll put it here. Right, we'll set up a nice modular piece. And I'm doing this really dirty and just nice and quick, rather than trying to do it properly and, you know, saving myself a bunch of time in the future. So ultimately, we don't want players to be able to see ahead necessarily, right? If the goal is to find the fastest possible way towards the end, they shouldn't be able to look all the way ahead. In some cases, they can look a little bit ahead, but not all the way ahead to the end, right? So we've got a wall that's blocking them, telling them, okay, you got to go either way. You got to go left or right. I don't care which one, but you got to go left or right. Now, the only problem is that our player movement does not allow for the camera to turn at all. Which is a limitation I'll deal with at the moment. I don't think that's something we should change at the moment. Can I add these to a group? Group. There it is. Group actor. Oop. Yep, very good. Which means now if I do that, there you go. It becomes nice little groups. So I'm gonna do the same with oh, actually, just seeing something. Yeah, actually, we can we can make these walls entirely grouped. There we go. We can also group those. All right, so oh man, there is a lot of questions popping up in my brain at the moment. Okay, this is gonna get interesting. You guys can see me design on my feet live, which is a bit of a yikes, but it's fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Oops, I didn't want to group it twice. I want to ungroup it, please. Nope, that's apparently capturing a GIF. Can I exit, please? Cool. Can I ungroup these? Groups, ungroup. Groups, ungroup. Okay, right, cool. And then let's just make these three a group instead. It's fine, no problems. Exactly, there is nothing going wrong here. I promise I completely thought this through. There's definitely nothing wrong with what I'm trying to do. Yeah. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Let's put this at 10 for the moment, just so I can slightly move this like that. Yeah, that kind of works. Cool. Alright, let's put this back at 50. So, we want to make a few routes, right? And we can best do that by using these walls. There we go. We can say, alright, well, you're going to go here. The only problem with that is that it's at 50, which it shouldn't be. There we go. Awesome. Alright, same goes for this side. But then potentially we actually want to turn this around, probably. Like that, most likely. Again, this is something which it's going to take a little bit of time to do some dirty work. Like so. Move this one a little bit like this. I wonder what that looks like when we go through it. Oh, it looks strange because it... Oops. Also, it doesn't have collision. I forgot about that. Let's add collision to the individual mesh. Collision, add. Sure. Nice. Let's check it out. Oh, I can't do it like that. I need to just save it. Yep, that's fine. And then we'll just check it out through here. Check out. Submit. Change. Added. Collision. Cool. All right. So we probably want to move this back a little bit and then just get an extra row. Excellent. And then we want to again give players two options, right? We want to say, okay, you can either go this way. Which I'll just completely keep going like that. Oh, or not. Yeah, roughly, more or less. But we also say, okay, like that. We have a wall there. Oh, man. Oh, man. Excellent. There we go. It's almost like it's perfect. If you don't look at all the mistakes, it's perfect. Alright, then we probably want to move this wall a little bit like this. And then in here, we probably want to take apart... we probably want to ungroup them. If the game allows, if Unreal allows me. Nope, you're not going to allow me to ungroup them. There we go. Okay. Probably something like this. There we go. We make it a small little option, and we'll add a little bit of finesse here. Now we'll need to make this a pretty short level, because you really don't want to spend too much time on this kind of stuff. You really just don't. Like, that's really just a big no-no. Alright, then this section will make it go like this, and like this, and like this. Make it some nice straight sections as well. There we go. And then from this side, I kind of hate the fact that these are textured one-sided, but, you know, it is what it is. I didn't make them, so I can't change it. Not right now, anyway. Then we include more walls. So we definitely want to have 3 different paths, right? We don't want to cross the paths too often, because that makes it not defined enough. You want to make sure that people can define which path they're currently on. Definitely want to make sure of that. Okay. And then the same actually goes for all of these to move here. Flip them around and move them back. There we go. And then as for the other ones, oh, Unreal Engine really doesn't like me copying that many wall pieces at the same time. Yeah, it's not a big fan of that. Alright, and then move this over here-ish. I don't know exactly how wide that's going to be yet. Okay, so let's move this way. And then we can make this go like this. And like this. Oop. And then in a second we'll start prototyping some mechanics to make sure that players, you know, get slowed down, right? That's the idea. Okay, now let's actually make sure. There we go. Alright, because this would be the... Is this a... Oh shit, it's the time trial one. Oh yeah, no, yeah, it is a time trial one. I am doing it right. I knew that. I totally knew that. There we go. And then ultimately, it'll all come together. Well, not exactly together, but it'll... yeah, actually, it will actually all come together. Yep. Kind of like this. It's not perfect, but it does the trick. And then roughly in the middle, which is about here-ish. No, maybe here. I don't think it has an exact middle, to be fair. Which is okay, we can grab one of these. And then just do that. Yeah, that's 4 on either side. Okay, and then we can just grab the flag, the end of level blueprint. Where is it? Level functionality. BP level finish. Oh, down there, please. Up you go. And then we'll put you right here. Just got to put you slightly to the left. Alright, and we'll put you slightly up actually as well. There we go. Alright. Yeah, and then what we'll also do is have a nice little reset button at the end. So that people can quickly figure out if they want to retry the level or not. Like that. Again, it's not perfect, but it definitely doesn't have to be either. Okay. Alright, so that's our rough level layout. Now the only thing that I totally did not think of, and this is where you can see that designing on your feet is definitely not a good idea. The only thing I didn't think of is that right now I can see precisely what's going on the other tracks. Awesome. So that is something I should fix, probably. I'm just thinking how I can do that. Yeah, if I really want to do it properly. It's a bit of a problem. Because trying to do this too quickly actually results in making unnecessary mistakes. That's the lesson of today, also for myself. Mainly because there's actually a lot of considerations. I do, but I used the meshes instead of the blueprints. I can replace them relatively easily by just grabbing. Let's see. Oh shit. By grabbing everything except for the first 30 or so. Yeah, everything from here on down, I can replace those with that. I can basically grab all of these group actors, and I can replace selected actor with platforms, parent platform probably. Replace with parent platform. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Please don't crash. Cool, it didn't crash. Holy balls. Hell yeah. Collision boxes, am I right? Whoa, why did some of these... Oh. I made an oopsie. I selected all of the group actors instead of only the platform ones. Here we go. Because now it has all of these as well. So I actually just need to go from down here. From this one all the way down to 38. Yeah, that's the ones I need. So those need to be replaced with parent platforms. Saving is for nerds. Exactly. Please always save your work. Don't do what I do in these cases. All right. So actually, that would indeed solve the problem. You are correct. That would very much solve the problem. Which should be cool. Yeah, that's actually a good solution. You're right. That is actually a very good solution. Whoa. It is unmovable though. Okay, the game apparently doesn't really like it that wait, but it's saying it about something that is definitely Static mesh actor. But it's saying this about a particular set. Oh no, I should say it about all of them. Yeah, it's saying it about all of them. Okay. I have no idea what that warning means, let alone how to fix it necessarily. So there's a very good chance, because I know that everything works properly inside the blueprint, because else it wouldn't work in other levels either. And I don't have any lights bound to any of these blueprints, so... Oh, all of them in here are not movable. That is strange. Let's make sure everything except for everything, including this, should have... Oh, you can't do them all at the same time. Seriously? Seriously, game? You're gonna really do that to me? Yep, I cannot change all default scene routes to movable as a group. Surely I can. Surely I can. Yeah, actually I might be able to solve this relatively easily. Let's double check. Movable. There we go. This should temporarily solve the issue. Okay, I need to check it out. Check out. Check in. Change set default scene route to movable upon game initialization, like that. There we go. Awesome. Okay, I think this should solve the issue. I should have tested that before I submitted it. Oh wow, look at that. That actually solves the issue. Holy shit. Very cool. That actually does solve the issue. Wow, nice. Alright, okay, so yeah, so that would actually solve the problem of the mistake I made with trying to do it too quickly, right? Okay, so now the idea becomes, what are we going to do in terms of mechanics for slowing players down, right? Because we need to visualize some of it as well. We can't just put a bounding box or an activation box there and say, okay, it's going to slow down the player by 50% and not have it be visual, right? We need to have stuff visual. Which is going to make this like 100 times more difficult than it should be. Let's start with, we'll put this in traps. No, because they're not traps really. Let's make a new folder called obstacles. Obstacles. And then inside of obstacles, we're going to make a blueprint class, an actor. I don't think we can do parent-child blueprints because they won't inherit too much from each other. No, we'll just do a BP rotating fist. And for rotating fist, since that's the one I drew, to default scene, we're going to add a cylinder. There it is. We're going to add a cylinder. And then to that cylinder, which should probably be about half the scale, to be honest. Except for on the Z. On the Z you can be 1. Not exactly sure how big that makes you. Let's find out. Yeah, that actually should be a lot bigger, to be fair. It should be like a ton bigger. Let's put this at 2. Yeah, much better. Much better. Let's put this nicely in the middle, like that. Oh. Roughly towards the side. Almost in the middle. Now we're Now we're in the middle. Cool. Let's put it now on 50s so that we can easily move it. There we go. And what we'll add to this is a nice little cube, right? Which will move off to this side. And we'll say that this should probably be 0.25, 0.25. Actually, no, this one can be 0.5. Here we go. Yeah. And then attached to that, we'll put a sphere, which has a wacky scale because we're inheriting scales, which is never a good thing, but here we are. Which means that in the Z, we just need to lower it down by about half. Right, let's see what that looks like in game. Yeah, that about works. That about works out. So now, if I go into here, and I I gotta actually add collisions to everything, to be fair. Capsule collision to that one. A box collision to this one. And a sphere collision to this one. Okay, now I just gotta check their sizes. Because they don't look like the right size at all. Oops, can I... Oh. Unreal? Are you okay? Here we go. Alright, that's slightly... Oh. Unreal doesn't like it if I try and drag and... drag it. 1.8? No, 1.5. Sure, that is roughly... If I do 1.6, that is roughly as accurate as it's going to get. Yeah, roughly. Okay, for the box collision, we have the same issue, of course. Which we probably want to do something that's a bit too much, but that's okay. And for the capsule collision, we really want to increase the size of this by about 5. Oh, that's a little too much. 3. 3 about works. Yeah, that about works. And then we just want to say for all of these that for your collision, you want to overlap actually, you want to only block bomb. Right? Yeah. No. Block all dynamic. Let's try with that one. I think that one will work. Now, if I go in here and I just create a little timeline. No, actually, I can just do it with a little timer, can't I? Yep. If I just add a function that says rotate fist, and I grab this and I click set rotation, set world rotation, and then I break this open. Oops, nope. Sorry. Make rotation. Actually, I can do it more easily. Just split it like that. And then I'll just do ++. I'll increment it every time this function is called. And then, oh, why can I do that? Yeah, sure. Promote to local variable. Actor rotation. And then we'll actually put you in there. Put you in there. There we go. Yeah. Okay. And then I go in here and I say start timer Oh no. Timer, what is it called again? Set timer by function name. And then the function name is rotate fist. It's looping, and it'll happen every 0.01 seconds. I don't think that's too fast, since it's 360 degrees that it needs to go around. So in theory, it doesn't work. Now, why would that be? Potentially because these things aren't actually interlocked with each other, is my guess. Because it's just rotating the cylinder. And instead of that, I could actually say, okay, let's actually do the entire default scene route. Might as well, right? Ultimately, it makes no difference. And for some reason, it indeed makes no difference. And I'm a little confused about that. This is definitely called. I definitely have the right function name. Definitely should not need to print string something like this, but yep, it's definitely working. B for value 0, that's fine. Z is definitely the right axis. Let's try and print string the value. See what comes out of it. Oh. Oh. I am stupid. I figured it out. Yep, this doesn't actually save the variable. Now it does, though. Does it? Why does that still not seem to work? It's still only one. Why is that? Every time this gets called, it's going to increment axis rotation by 1. It's going to save it, and it's going to pop it into this. So why is it never increasing? It was definitely an overestimation that I could get all this done today. Who would have thought? Because if I go in here and I just say that spacebar when pressed, it is going to. Oh, actually, I should. Oh shit! I should not make this. I should make this a public variable, shouldn't I? Oh, now it's a component. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, I'll turn it into a public variable. Rotating rotation. Now, if I add this here, I know this is still the same and it still won't work. Yeah, it's a little tricky. For me, it's just I need to find enough time to learn how to do C++. I like blueprints, I like them a lot, but sometimes the debugging is a little hard. It's fine, but if I then just quickly say when pressed, nope, not what I meant to do. Take this and do it plus, let's say 45, something that's noticeable, just to see if it actually turns. If it doesn't turn, then it's a different. Oh, here we go. It works. Oh, whoa, what happens here if I just stand right in front of it? Oh, I end up going through it at some point. Yeah, I definitely need to select a better collision profile, but okay. It works. I don't know why, but it works. Alright, very cool. So we'll remove the print string there. Surely it wasn't because it was a local variable, right? Surely that wasn't the issue. I don't know. Okay, and then in terms of these collisions, let's block all. I'm just curious what it's going to do to the wall that's there. Okay, it still goes through the wall. Okay, that's cool. I still go through it, though. Is it a player collision issue? Oh, yeah, no, it's just a matter of if I stand still, it's just going to go over me. So potentially, because it's trying to find a way for the collisions to work together. So potentially what I should probably do, seeing as it's not going to make a difference for me, what I should probably do is remove the sphere in the box and instead take the capsule and add this to this and add also to that. Here we go. Okay, so this guy can do that. This is totally overkill. This is 100% overkill. I can actually just grab this capsule and just do this. This is still overkill, but for now, it's functional. Let's see what it does now. Still not entirely... Kinda does it, but not at all times. Okay, now let's also increase the speed at which it goes. 0.0, oh Jesus, 0.01. 001? Yeah. Let's see if it goes a little faster then. Whoa! Yeah, so basically, oh, it's gonna get you stuck in a corner at some point, but it should be a little less fast than this, but I hope you get the idea. And I could even make it a little better by saying, by reducing this to 0.5. This goes half as fast. Oh, that's a little too fast. That's a little too slow. Let's try 2.5. We definitely want it to be a little fast. There we go. Look at that. Fall oranges. Shh, shh. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. But this now seems to work. Ow. Oh. It pushed me through the collision. Very good. Yeah, this is going to require a ton of tweaking. But essentially, this could be a trap. We could have pads that slow you down. We could have bouncy pads that push you back. This requires a pretty in-depth design. That's what this needs. Because if I keep doing stuff dirty, it's gonna catch up with me. It's already catching up with me, right? If we make a good design for this, then I think we can make much more progress in the next stream than trying to cram it all into this stream and, you know, doing that. So take that lesson from me. Don't let your overconfidence get in the way, because I did, and look where it got us. So let's put our thoughts on paper. Let's do that. Let us put our thoughts on paper. Let's see. Design. and then let's create a new folder called modes. And inside of this folder, we will create a new Google Docs. And in that Google Docs, we're gonna work. All right. So what we want to do, because obviously with things slowing down, as you might have guessed, Jagu, Fall Guys does a lot of the same, right? Where, I mean, they kind of combine the whole death and reset and trying to do as fast as possible. They just don't have a timer for it. And instead, they have other people that are your timer. But a lot of the traps that they use are very much used for slowing down. And so we're going to steal quite a bit of inspiration from that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, not a font, I want a title called Time Trial Challenge Mode. Actually, I said Time Challenge Mode, didn't I? The goal of the player is to figure out which path is the fastest towards, is the fastest path to take to get to the end of the level. The faster the player completes the level, the sooner they can move on to the next level, or something like that. It's not something that's done. It's just the initial thoughts. All right, then based on that, there's a few things we gotta do. So for the level design, we want to make sure. I think we want to take a lot of inspiration from mazes. Because ultimately mazes are meant for only finding one path that can get you to the end, and that's not necessarily what we're doing. Every path that the player takes will lead them to the end in one way or another. But it's just a matter of, okay, what is the fastest path, right? So take inspiration from mazes that have all paths lead to the end. So there's that. All mechanics present in the on the path, right? On the path the player takes. Should interact with the speed at which the player can complete the level, both good and bad, right? In some cases, you might want to have speed up pads or something like that, right? To kind of like to increase the thinking of the players of, okay, if path A has 3 speed up thingies and 4 delay mechanics, and a different path B has only 2 speed ups but also only 2 delays, then okay, what's my how fast am I gonna go, right? Okay, so that's it for level design, I think. Yeah. Well, when a player takes a particular path, they are unable to see any other path, right? Just to make sure that they have to replay it a few times before they know what's going on. All right, then for the mechanics, slow down mechanics. Let's see, a few things I can already think of is the rotating fist, right? Rotating fist will bounce the player back, Then there is I don't know, something like wind machines, something like that, right? Pushes the player backwards constantly, whilst moving from side to side, whilst moving from side to side, or something like that. Then there should be a sludge cannon or something. I shouldn't theme these up too much. Let's see. Just general slime, right? Slime slows the player down. And then one more for slowing down, which is just a general reduced speed platform, right? Something like that. Which also slows the player down. Slows the player down. I can actually make this a slime cannon though. Cannon slows the player down for X amount of seconds. And this one slows the player down whilst they are on the platform. There we go. Okay, then speed up mechanics. These are relatively simple. Shouldn't be too many of these. Which is just a boost platform. Gives a significant speed increase to the player for X amount of seconds. What else can we do that could be a little fun? Teleporters, maybe? Teleporter. Teleports the player forward X amount of platforms. Something like that, right? Let's see, what else do we actually need to do here for this game mode? Do we need to add anything else for this one? I don't think so. I think we've got everything for this one. Yeah. So let's have a look at that. Let's not try to inspect that. And then we'll take this link and we'll put it in Asana. So that we have it in place. I actually said I didn't actually title the document. That is interesting. There we go. Now I've titled the document. And then we'll make a copy. And I'll open that up and throw it here. There we go. Alright. Then we can do survival mode, where we're going to change the goal. We're going to change the level design. And we're going to basically there we go. Okay, now for this one, it needs quite significantly less work because we already have the falling platforms. Will fall when activated. Then we have the side to side platforms. Move from side to side when revealed, which is actually not a move to the left or the right when revealed. Some other mechanics we have is, I need to double check, what was it again? Oh yeah, we had electricity platforms, electrocute the player, right, like that. And then we have the pillars, right? Falling pillars. Yeah. Falling pillars that will kill the player by flattening them. Damage the player for 1 full hit point. And then in terms of level design, we want to keep it the same. 1 path towards the end. Player has to avoid the traps, and upon restarting, we'll have to remember where traps were. Okay. And then the question becomes, well, a question that I do have for this one, because I have no idea. Do the platforms hide again when the player gets reset? Or do they stay visible and the player kind of knows where stuff is? I don't know yet, so. But I think this is roughly the design for the survival game mode. I think. The goal of the player is to make it to the end of the level. And that's kind of it. That's it. And then there's a secondary goal. Secondary goal is to gather collectibles for a particular reason. Again, because it's a prototype, it's not entirely fully worked out, but it kind of works out. Okay. Now that we have all that, we can, again, add the link to the Asana task, right? And then also what's something I should do is I should grab the designs that I made earlier. I call them designs. They're barely that, but... let's see. That's it. And then 3 platformer. Where did I place them again? Game flow. Yeah. Then for the time challenge one, we can add the PNG there. There we go. And then for the survival game loop, we add also the PNG there. Just like that. There we go. Alright. So we have all the information in one place. Good. Now, let's do the development of some of this stuff a little better, because at the moment it's not very good. And so what I want to do is actually, let's leave Asana on this side. And then for the time challenge one, let me just open the document on my right. I just gotta slightly make it smaller like that so I can still see people. Right. So for the rotating fist, I want the player to bounce back as well when they hit the ball, right? When they hit the fist. So for that, what I need to do, I need to quickly peek into a previous blueprint I've made, which is in the main character blueprint. Which is inside of the movement abilities event graph. And then let's see, platform bounce back, here it is. So I just want to make sure that when the player collides with Capsule, I'm just going to call this fist collision. And I'm just going to say, alright. Oh, it's going to say on component hit, isn't it? And on component hit is just not a good event to use. It's a very iffy event, so I'll do a begin overlap. And then instead of a component, I'll actually I'll use another actor. Hashtag player. If that's true, then please launch the shit out of my character. Now, I have no idea. Oh, right, oops. Oh, shit. Oh, actually, it's okay. I can fix this. All I need to do is just grab a sequence here. Add this one to one later. Create a function called setReferences. And in here we cast to GI game instance. We get game instance. Where we actually no, we don't need to do this at all. We should cast to GI game instance, but we should turn this into a pure cast. There we go. So then if it's a success, just to rule out any cases of it possibly being set as a bad reference, we will set this up as a not as a local variable. That is not what I wanted to do. Promote to variable ref game instance. There we go. Cool. Now, what I can do now is I can say, all right, set references, make sure we call the function, and then from there I can grab ref game instance, which can grab the main character reference. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see how badly messed up it's going to be. Whoa, it did something. What in the hell? Why is that sort of not working? Let's also move this a bit forward so we can test this sooner. Cool. This should be more or less fine. Yeah, it's not activating. Okay. That's probably because the collision's not big enough. Oh, I actually think the collision doesn't move at all, to be honest. Can we make this visible in game, please? Nope, not hidden in game. Oh no, it does move. It's very hard for me to see. It's definitely also hard for you guys to see. So why isn't it working then? Is this just returning false? Have I added the wrong tag? Oh, it's so busy connecting with the ground that it actually doesn't really know. Maybe that's kind of the guess at the moment, because it's definitely got enough space to hit the player. So let's move just a little bit here and a little bit up, so that it doesn't actually connect with the ground anymore. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's still connecting with itself as well. Yep. It should probably ignore itself as well, shouldn't it? No, but this makes no sense. No, something's wrong here. If I just disable leave rotation for a minute and then just check what happens when I touch it. Oh, I'm an idiot. It can't overlap something that's blocking. Ah, fucking idiot. Yeah, if it's blocking me, I can't overlap it, of course. So I would just need to do that, and then for this one, I need to say, okay, you need to overlap all dynamic, and then for physical collision 1, I just need to make it slightly smaller. There we go. Like that. Might not even need that, but we'll find out. Okay. That is working. It's just not nearly enough, but it's working. Okay. Alright. Let's take away this print string. Also, the engine is for some reason really lagging, and I think it might be because I did some weird shit with the replacing of the blueprints earlier on. Actually, but does this now actually... Does it actually say hello now? From time to time? Yeah, it does. Okay. So let's severely increase the power of the push. Just to see what happens here. Just see how that affects it all. Perfect. Perfect. Couldn't have been better. Yeah. Couldn't have been any better. Alright. Let's reduce this down to 2,000. That was maybe a bit much, huh? Maybe a little much. Alright. Whoa. Okay, it's doing something wacky in terms of... I think 1,000 or 1,500 is fine. But it's doing something wacky here. Which axis are we always... We're always going on the x-axis, so why is it touching the y? And then let's make this, I don't know, minus 1,000. I know this is exponential, so this is probably going to mess it up, but let's find out. Yeah, this is definitely a bit much. It's also not very fast, is it? Whoa, that was impressive. That is a lot of power. Nice. We can get launched ahead. Yeah, exactly. New speedrun strat, yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay. So what I need to do, because it's getting hotter and hotter out here, and it is definitely not good for me. What I need to do is give this a little bit more thought and plan out the next stream a little more in terms of how we're going to implement some of these mechanics. Because otherwise I feel like I'm messing with it a little too much. And I don't have enough time to actually, you know, think through some of the design steps that I want to take, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, so I might do a little bit of work off stream just to see what I want to do with some of these things. And then in the next stream, what we'll do is we'll put it all together, and we'll still make some of the other slowdown mechanics, absolutely. But especially because this one uses physics, I want to take my time on it and do a little bit of investigation. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. Yeah, okay, all right. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna click this button because that means that we've come to the end of another stream. Which I know is a bit of an abrupt ending, but I just want to put a little bit more thought and time into this one. And so I promise I'll take you guys through the whole process that I went through in the next stream. But I just want to think of how I want to approach this. So next stream, we'll also have another game dev topic that I've prepared. It's going to be about feedback and why it's so scary, because it is pretty scary. So we'll talk about that next time as well. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. And thanks to Vestison for the follow. Appreciate it. And beyond that, I hope you'll have a great day. And we'll speak to each other next time. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.